you have people like Ian Wright that are so big within men's football that him going across to women's football and kind of shining a light on it only helps out the women's game. So to try and make it about herself and say that I can't dominate, because the thing is, yeah, she's not even saying women can't dominate. She's saying I can't dominate. So she's making it about herself. Yeah. And I'll be honest, like, I don't know word for word, but there has been a few times she's been on certain broadcasts and she's said stuff extremely wild that, makes no sense, and rightfully she's been called out for it. And this is one of those takes that she's going to be called out for as well. Hey, it's me, half-time hooks, Hokage of the village. And I've been doing a bit of digging, and 52.5% of you that watch me aren't subscribed to the village. Yeah? So, how's about you click that subscribe button, help the village grow, help us hit our targets, and enjoy the wonderful time that we share here together. Hope to see you soon. Peace. So, Eni Aluko, I think that's how you say her name, Eni Aluko has come out and insinuated the maddest against Ian Wright. She's basically saying, maybe not in direct words, but she's essentially saying that Ian Wright is blocking opportunities for female pundits in the female game. And she's kind of saying, look, he dominates the space, and, me as a woman, I am not able to dominate the male space in the way that he is dominating the female space. Now, before I read out, her actual like comments, I think to say something so mad against Uncle Ian is crazy. Because when I think of Uncle Ian, like, he's Captain Diversity. Like, if there was a superhero for diversity in in the sports game, in the football world, it would be Uncle Ian. Yeah. And for Eni Aluko to come out and say the things that she has said, I I think she's a little bit out of touch, not only with reality, but just how much of like a sponsor Ian Wright is to the women's game of football. So look, this is what she said. So Eni Aluko, if you don't know who she is, she used to be an ex-footballer and she's won 105 caps with England. So she played at a pretty high level in the women's game. And she's gone, I've worked with Ian a long time. And, I think he's a brilliant broadcaster. But I think he's aware of just how much he's doing in the women's game. I think he should be aware of that. The fact of the matter is, there is a limited amount of spaces available. If we had a situation where there was an equal opportunity in the men's game for broadcasters and coaches, that there is in the women's game, it's a free for all. But that's not the case. I can't dominate the men's game in the way that, you used Ian as an example. So now, just a few things there. Just a few things there. So she's basically crying. She's basically crying. You know what I mean? Like, I can't believe, yeah, she drew for the equal opportunity. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't think that there is an adequate balance between women and men in the men's game, which I think is only normal because it is only recently, I would say maybe the last 5 to 10 years, that women have started getting involved in the men's game at this level. And then we have to look at the fact that, you have people like Ian Wright that are so big within men's football that him going across to women's football and kind of shining a light on it only helps out the women's game. So to try and make it about herself and say that I can't dominate, because the thing is, yeah, she's not even saying women can't dominate. She's saying I can't dominate. So she's making it about herself. Yeah. And I'll be honest, like, I don't know word for word, but there has been a few times she's been on certain broadcasts and she's said stuff extremely wild that, makes no sense, and rightfully she's been called out for it. And this is one of those takes that she's going to be called out for as well. And I don't think she realizes the damage that she could potentially be doing to women's sport, because let's be real, like, en masse, men don't really watch the women's game. We've tuned into it a bit more now, because obviously the game is progressing, more light is being shone on it. Things like, I know, for example, at Arsenal, I know for a lot of the big games, if the men's team isn't playing in the Emirates, the women's team will play in the Emirates. That's a step forward. That's something that didn't used to happen in the past. But now, with what she's doing, it may actually have the opposite effect. It may actually make men go, oh, you know what, CBA now, may even turn against it. Who knows? And she will only have herself to blame. And I don't think she understands the gravity of insinuating a a lack of diversity while working and being a broadcaster on a company, ITV, which is one of the champions of diversity. Don't worry, we'll get into ITV's thoughts and feelings on this in a bit. So now, she was asked to clarify, and this is what she said. I don't know about wrong, but I think we need to be conscious and we need to make sure that women are not being blocked from having a pathway into broadcasting in the women's game. It's still new, it's still growing. There's a finite amount of opportunities, and I think that men need to be aware of that. Men need to be aware that, you're in a growing sport for women, and we haven't always had these opportunities. And so it's about the awareness and supporting other women through that pathway. Ian Wright is literally doing that by going, hey, I'm Ian Wright. If I'm on this, more people are going to watch it. And if more people are watching it, that creates more opportunity, because the way that you get more opportunity is through higher demand. The way that you can get higher demand in the women's game is if people like Ian Wright are being beacons of light for the women's game. We can have the conversation about whether that's how it should be. We can have the conversation about the demand should naturally increase just through women doing it. But we also have to acknowledge that that's just not how the world works, unfortunately. It's very unfortunate. But you have people like Ian Wright who are trying to shine a light on a game that he feels deserves the light. And you're there saying Ian Wright is blocking opportunities for women. Really? Ian Wright blocking? Do you think that Ian Wright needs to block opportunity for anybody? He's Ian Wright. He doesn't have to do this. He doesn't have to do this. And I think that that's something that she needs to understand. He did, like, okay, he gets a bit of personal benefit from this because he's on TV more, but Ian Wright doesn't need to be on TV any more than what he is. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not like he's in like financial disarray and he has to do all this extra work because he's behind on bills and he's in mad debt and all of that stuff. He's literally, I love this game and I want more people to take part in this game. Can't lie, Eni Aluko, this is a mad L. And look, hear this. Her outburst has sparked internal conversations within ITV regarding her future. Peak. with senior figures seriously debating whether to continue their association with the ex-Chelsea striker. A TV source said Aluko's on very thin ice. The comments she made were ill-judged, to say the least. ITV pride themselves, like I said earlier, on having a diverse roster for both pundits and presenters. Across its sport content, and there is a big female influence when covering women's football. Yeah? So for her to criticize the use of Wright and suggest he's dominating the game is not only factually incorrect, it's actually very disrespectful given how he's helped raise the profile of women's football. Yeah, her comments have upset a lot of people, and there have been serious discussions over whether she can work for the broadcaster again in the near future. One of the people it would have upset is Ian Wright himself, because that's all he's doing. He's trying to help raise the profile of women's football. And then, even if you look at the men's game now, I can't remember the last time I watched a broadcast without there being a female representative. Do you know what I mean? Like, even if I think about back in the day, even on like Sky Sports, like I remember watching Sky Sports News, there was always a female presenter. Now, like even if you think like, for example, the biggest, well, okay, arguably the biggest broadcast it around football globally, CBS, not even the co-host, the host is a woman. You wouldn't have seen that like 10, 20 years ago. That's part of the, and this is commenting on men's football. Do you know what I mean? The Champions League, like we're talking the creme de la creme of broadcasting. I don't know, man. I think this is like I hope that she has long called Uncle Ian and gone, look, Unks, like what I said, it may have come across in the wrong way. That's not how I meant it. Like maybe in the heat of the moment, I said things in the wrong way. This is what I actually meant, and then I hope they would have had a discussion about it. But people, at least anyone that's watching this video now, you're part of my community. Let's just continue to support the women's game in the way that it should be supported. Let's continue to support women in the way that they should be supported in the men's game and the women's game. And let's remember that everybody has an opportunity to pursue, yeah, what they want to pursue in life. Yeah. Closing out, Ian Wright is not blocking any opportunities. Ian Wright is not dominating. Ian Wright is just a massive profile, a massive figure in the game. He acknowledges this, and he's gone 2 + 2 = 4. I think these women deserve so much more support and visibility than what they're getting. How can I do my part to ensure that happens? So look, people, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you can, hit a like. If you can, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.